Record.
Aye.
I want to go ahead and welcome everyone to our session this evening on Young Children Priority 1, Enhancing Early Learning in My Community. I know most of you, but I want to go ahead and just take a minute. If people, since we're a small group, if we can just introduce ourselves, say what club you're from, and then we can go ahead and get started. So I am Emily Reed. I am Young Children Priority 1 Chair for the state of Pennsylvania. I am from the Kiwanis Club of Dillsburg. And my co-speaker this evening is Penny Myers, and she'll go ahead and introduce herself.
And yes, I am Penny Myers from the Kiwanis Club of Bald Eagle and Nittany Valleys, and I am Emily's helper, and I am also Region 4 trustee.
Mike, go ahead. We know who you are, but
Yeah, this is like foolish. Hi, my name is Mike Coolbaugh. I'm a member of the Wyoming Area Kiwanis Club in Division 15, and I am the district governor.
Tiffany.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Cleo. I'm from the Wyoming Area Kiwanis Club, and I'm Region 6 trustee.
And let's see, Conrad.
Hi, I'm Conrad Schlesinger from the Lock Haven Kiwanis Club, and I am the governor-elect of the district.
And Joe.
Hi, Joe Wilson, Kiwanis Club of Southampton, and I'm the Region 7 trustee.
And Diane. All right, we're losing Diane there. So we have Karen.
Yep, Karen Sears from Kiwanis Club of Conshohocken, secretary of that and lieutenant governor for Division 22.
And Ross.
Ross Michael Savage, Club of Pottstown. I'm their secretary and lieutenant governor-elect for Division 19.
Great. And now I'm not sure I'm going to say this right. Tonesy?
Fonzie, like Fonzie with a T, like
okay.
Fonzie with a T.
Great.
I'm Larry Tonzi. I'm the president-elect of the club here in Lebanon, PA.
Great. And Robin. All right, we are going to go ahead and get started tonight. We have a jam-packed evening full of information. So I've already kind of introduced myself. We're going to now talk a little bit about what is Young Children Priority 1 and why Young Children Priority 1. So right here on this screen is why Young Children Priority 1. Children across the state of Pennsylvania and across the world are very important. And all these happy smiles and these friendly faces and the sunshine that lights them up is why we are here. And this is what Kiwanis is all about. So tonight we want to talk a little bit about what the mission and vision for Young Children Priority 1 is. So Young Children Priority 1 focuses on children prenatal through age 5 through 4 different areas. The main areas for Young Children Priority 1 are maternal and child health, child care and development, parent education and support, and safety and pediatric trauma. Those are the 4 service areas when Young Children Priority 1 was initially created. Now, of course, we know that Young Children Priority 1 can also be expanded into youth services. So Kiwanis also covers children ages 6 all the way on up through college. So we are involved a lot. So this evening, what we wanted to go ahead and talk about is some of the different activities and things that you can do with your club surrounding these 4 areas of Young Children Priority 1. So Young Children Priority 1 in the state of Pennsylvania, we actually have a Young Children Priority 1 committee made up of these following people, along with our past governor, and our current governor and our incoming governor are also a part of this committee as well. And we work together to really make young children priority one and youth services a focus for Pennsylvania Kiwanis. So our job is to impact our communities. So what you as leadership of your local Kiwanis clubs want to look to do is to begin, if you don't already do Young Children Priority One projects, or expand the current projects that you have. My husband laughs at me all the time that we do a ton and ton through our Dillsburg Kiwanis Club, but every year we're always looking to add something new and add something more just to keep things fresh. And we always find that there's something new that our community needs or is looking for. So it's always good to continue some projects and maybe look at some of those old projects that are a little stale that we may not need to be doing anymore. So if you review the projects that you're doing and kind of look at where you're coming from, you want to look around the community and really get to know your community. What is your community about? What are the current needs of the community? You might find that the big C word, COVID, has changed some of that in your community lately. We have found that obviously COVID has impacted a lot of economic families and their funding. So that might be something that has impacted what Kiwanis would be needed to do in your community. And then also determine the interest of your club. Perhaps you get a new club member that is really into gardening, and that's something that they would really like to do. Perhaps you get a new club member like ours, who is the lunch lady in our school district. So she's really into food and cooking. Really meet the needs of those interests of your club members to start looking at what you can do to impact. Please feel free to unmute, type in the chat, chime in at any time if you have any questions, and we will just continue on about our evening. We hope. As the computer freezes. All right. So one of the main areas that you saw were parent education and support. Now, not all Kiwanis members are educators like Tiffany and I, who are used to standing in front of children and parents all day long and kind of giving them education and support. But all Kiwanis members can be a strong support to parents out there, just in different ways. So I just want to show you a few different ways of how we can support parents and educate them in good things that parents should do. So Kiwanis clubs can hold events that encourage participation between family members and model positive interactions. Some families that are out there in our communities need to see that positive interaction between an adult and a child. Just from basic things that might seem silly to you and not really doing a lot of education per se, but it actually is doing what we are asking to happen. So one of the things that I want to just mention is STEM nights. So that's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So if you'll see up in the little corner over here, it's a family that is building something together. So your club can have an evening where parents and their children can get together and they have to problem solve something. So for example, they have to build a structure that's as tall as 3 feet, or they have to build a structure out of these certain things. Again, it's just seeing people interact with each other in a positive nature. There, I think Penny, someone in your area does this as well, reading under the lights.
Yes, we do that with our school district. And it is an event where in the evening, the school district promotes having either their SLP groups reading to other children. Parents are invited, there's food, refreshments, but they're just getting together to promote literacy in the schools. our Kiwanis Club is one of them that attends. And of course, we always give books out to the kids that are available. There's health and safety vendors that are there. So it's just a night for parents to get to know who in the community that they can go to. And Kiwanis is very involved.
And we are actually going to be starting that in our area as well with our school district. And a lot of people that do this, they actually get the football field for the evening. If you can see the photograph, and they go on the football field with the blankets and the stadium lights get turned on. It's just a really cool event. But again, it's modeling literacy. It's modeling the importance of spending time together. I know some other clubs do evenings such as building a snowman or creating
You're a loser?
I think
I think
so.
so.
Okay, I feel like
There
I'm
you are.
freezing.
Yeah, you froze.
You're back now.
All right, we are gonna try this. So some clubs do the building of the snowman and building of the scarecrow. Again, just a fun way to get together, enjoy each other's time and each other's company, and just model positive interactions. Another thing that our club started this year, along with our Dillsburg Art Council, is we do a chalk walk. And we use the sidewalk around the middle school, and we have different clubs from the area, from the high school, from the middle school, that actually rent a space, and they create chalk drawings for the children to gather around and see. But then there are also spaces that the families are able to come and just draw and have a great time together. So that's a lot of fun. And then at the bottom, safety days, bike rodeos, all different things like that are just simple ways that you can educate parents and support them.
Emily, there's a question in the chat. How do you deal with COVID restrictions? Do your members state police first?
Okay, so right now, in most of areas, there are not many COVID restrictions anymore. So you really have to look within your community, within your town, within your district, or within anything that you're working with to see if there are any restrictions at that point. But most of the restrictions that I know of, either in our area and around, have been lifted. So there really aren't many COVID restrictions at this point. All right.
My the second question, please.
The clearances can be found through child abuse and the PSP state police clearances, and they can be found on Kiwanis PA website.
I know, but do you get the clearances first before you go in?
Yes. Our club has done a couple endeavors trying to get all of our members to get their clearances. We will hold members will take their laptops, and for those that aren't familiar with getting them, we will do them right then and there so that they're done.
Now,
We actually
how do you pay?
do this.
They're free. They're free for 5 years.
we actually do the
No,
same thing.
no, not the state one. The state one costs $50.
Not the ones you need for volunteer. Volunteer, the PSP and child abuse clearances are free for 5 years.
Yep.
In Lebanon, they cost $50.
I will go ahead and I will send you, Tanzi, the application online, and I'll show you step by step how you can do it. They are free across the entire state of Pennsylvania for all volunteers.
Well,
I'll go ahead and send that to you.
You're not right. You're not right as far as Lebanon is concerned. I've gone through this with them. I've gone through with both the school systems. We can't get into any of the school systems without having the clearances, and they cost $50 each.
If you want to stay on at the end, I can talk to you a little bit more about it and show you.
Emily, the school system may be requiring the same they require for employees, then there will be a cost.
Thank you.
That's up to the school. She's not wrong. She's telling you what the state law is for volunteers. Not all school districts require what the school district does for employees. Some do, some don't.
Yeah, okay.
And some do, some don't. Mine does not require the same thing, so.
Ours don't either, and as long as we're working under the school district, they'll accept our volunteer clearances.
All
Most
right,
schools accept volunteers.
correct. So along with the parent education, we have our early learning guides that most of us already know about and most of us are probably already very familiar with. So we have 4 guides at this point. We have Every Day I Learn Through Play, Kindergarten Here I Come, Learning is Everywhere, and Kindergarten Here I Am. And these are for all different levels of children. And in each of the calendars, they give you activities that are broken down by age level and by category about what you can teach them to do. All of these guides are now currently offered in Spanish, so you have that availability as well. Any of these guides can be ordered through the district office currently, and they can be sent to you. They can be picked up at the Kiwanis office, or they can be picked up at any of our main things like conventions and conferences. These are really great to hand out, but the best way to give these out are to have some sort of an event where you're actually explaining these to parents. In our school district, Kiwanis actually goes in during kindergarten registration. And when the parents come in and register their students, they sit down with one of the Kiwanis members who walks through the early learning guides and really explains how these can be done. And I know, Penny, you do different events that you also introduce the guides as well.
Yes, we're signed up this month to work with our local YMCA, month of April, for a health and safety day, which we're going to take Every Day I Learn Through Play and just show the parents what they can do with healthy activities that they can do with things right in their own kitchens, in their own homes, and it's cost-free.
And these are being updated in the next few months. So we're also going to be having fresh, new, updated guides coming very shortly as well. All right. So another thing that we can really do as Kiwanis clubs is we can work with some of the partnerships and programs that are in our area that we can continue to make these efforts with. So we're going to continue on to the next category, which is maternal and child health. So 2 of these things might be, again, something fairly familiar. The first is the trauma dolls, which have been around for quite a long time, and Kiwanis clubs have done these trauma dolls. What happens is there are directions, and you'll be able to see these directions when you get the PowerPoint, and the directions give you exactly how to make these trauma dolls. And what happens, these are given to hospitals or fire or police departments, and these dolls are given out to children who go through a traumatic circumstance or an instance. We've also been starting to give them to some of the guidance counselors in our school districts as well. And they can draw faces on these, they can draw on them, that it helps them work through the trauma that they've been doing and going through. Tiffany, I believe your club, along with our club, does this next one, is giving out the teddy bears to law enforcement and rescue providers, if you want to talk about that.
Sure. A few years ago, we were able to get a grant from the PA Foundation to help with the cost of getting the teddy bears. So it's a small one, just like how the brown one would look, but it's white, and it has we have a little like shirt over it. So on the front, we put our logo on it, and on the back, we put the foundation logo on it as well. So we give them to all of our the fire departments, the EMSs, the police departments, and we ordered 1,000, and we have maybe like 100 left. So we've given, and then we've also given them out for different, like little giveaways as well, just to give them out to the kids to have, because the kids love them when we do the stuff. So they're a big hit for the little kids. They love them. And it's just, it helps if there's a situation that, you know, that's not a good situation, that to get their mind off of the things that are going on, they can just have the little bear and get to, you know, play with it and hopefully comfort them.
Yeah,
Mike,
each of,
you were involved with this too. So
yep. Each of our officers drives around with a container of their bears in their car. And anytime there's a fire or a domestic incident that they have to deal with and that there's a child involved, they do get the bear out, and it just helps relax the child and helps the officer to really make that connection. So that really helps. Then we're going to get over to this one. So if you don't already know, mental health has become a big issue right now, even with as young as elementary and preschool age children. It is a big issue and it is a big deal, whether it be stress, anxiety, attention difficulties, actually suicide. These are all things that are impacting even our youngest of children. So some of the things that Kiwanis clubs can do to help with that are just a few of the things that we've listed here. Again, you'll see all these links that will give you some creative ideas of things that you can do to help. So in the one corner, there are fidget toys. So fidget toys are basically to help children that are going through stress, that they can just sit and play with and fidget with so that they can get a sense of calm. And there are lots of different directions of little different ways to make these, from the keychain beads that you saw to just simple paper clips that they're flipping the beads through. It's just a way of calming themselves. The clear jars in the center are called calming jars. And the calming jars are something that they can hold in their hands and that they can tip up and down. And there are different things that you can put in these calming jars, different type of liquid and soap and glitter that just helps them to focus and concentrate and take their time breathing and to calm themselves down. The other thing that our club just made, we just made 250 containers of this stress putty, and we handed out to our local elementary schools, middle school and high school. And this stress putty is really easy to make. It's out of simple ingredients, and you put it in a little container that you can find at the dollar store. And then kids have that in their desk. And if they're having a tough day or something tough is happening, they're able to get that stress putty out, and they're just able to really grip into that stress putty, and that helps them to just relax. And this is something easy that you can do at a club meeting that you can create and then be able to hand out and give out later to anywhere that you find needs it. This is just a simple side note of something that we're going to be doing in the future, because mental health is such a big issue coming out. People have been asking about the training. So it's really important for you to know in your community what some issues are and how you can work towards helping solve those issues. So there are some key trainings out there that I would really recommend lots of Kiwanis clubs participate in or to do. My club is all completely trained in all of these. There's something called mental health first aid. And that's basically how to have a conversation with someone that is, and when I say mental health, I'm not talking schizophrenia. I'm not talking anything serious. I'm talking about just childhood mental health, how to relax, how to calm, how to feel better about themselves. There's a great training on that. There's also a suicide awareness training, Prevent Suicide PA. These are all across Pennsylvania. These are offered online. They're great trainings. We are going to be offering some coming up in the near future to all Kiwanis members. Something else that's big, particularly in my community, but I know in a lot of other communities around, is human trafficking. And I know that you're thinking, oh, this is something completely out of the ordinary. But I will tell you that I have 5 students in my school district that are what's called domestic trafficked, meaning that they are given out to people in order to pay rent for their apartment. These are children middle school and elementary age. So I know it's kind of rocking people's world, but it's something that we need to be familiar with, that it is happening and that some of the children that we come across will be going through. So it's just something that would be good for us to be familiar with. So I just wanted to touch a little bit on that. The last piece that I want to talk about mental health and parent education is the nurse family partnership. The nurse family partnership is a partnership that Kiwanis has been involved with for quite a while. What the nurse family partnership is they are an organization of nurses that each get 25 families that they work with, and they are working with a first-time mother who is economically disadvantaged, who just needs a little bit assistance learning how to be a mother. And what happens is the nurse is assigned this parent when they're pregnant, and they follow them through life until their child becomes 2. And they do lots of training and lots of different work with them. My Kiwanis Club and a lot of Kiwanis clubs across the state work with the nurse family partnership with lots of different ways. We have done Christmas parties for them. For Mother's Day, we've planted plants for them. Some clubs have raised funds for needed equipment like hike chairs, first aid kits, different things like that, just in order to support the families that are going through this program. Penny, do you guys have any experience with the nurse family partnership that you want to add?
We do all of those that you mentioned, plus the fact we also do diaper drives, and we have also, with what we do with backpacks, we will also do backpacks for mothers, you know, which gives a little bit of everything needed in there for the new mom. So yeah, our club works with the nurse family partnership, and we're in touch with them frequently.
They're a great organization.
They
And
are.
when you get this PowerPoint, you can click on that link at the top. And if you type in your city, it will tell you what the nearest nurse family partnership is, and it will give you their location and their website that you can hook up with them as well. Last thing I'll talk about with mental health, and then we'll just take a question or two if anyone has anything. Kids gardening. Gardening is big right now. It is the big thing. They are our new Kiwanis partner, kidsgardening.org. And then the other one is called letusgrow.com. And the whole idea about gardening is that gardening helps with so many different things. It encourages us to eat healthier. It provides exercise. It builds self-confidence. You're working with that STEM again, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. It relieves stress. Ripley's, believe it or not, to most people, it relieves stress. Some people would say it does not, but it improves your focus on and memory, and it positively impacts your mood and well-being. Lots and lots of places around are getting gardens, anywhere from preschool centers that you see in the photos here. Senior centers are actually putting in a lot of the raised garden beds because that helps with the mood. It helps them keep busy. It's just a great thing to be getting involved with. And these are just some types of gardens that you'll see that are doing around. This is a Kiwanis club that just actually put in raised garden beds, and they're going to be, They just put them together. They're going to be putting the dirt in and everything together here. And this is at an elementary school. This is a school that already has the gardens. Then there are things like rock gardens that people can decorate a rock. They can take one and put one back. There's container gardening. There are the tire gardens just to clean things up. It's not just a regular garden anymore. There are lots of different ways that you can handle gardening and what you can do with your club. Just going to take a minute if anyone has any questions or comments before we keep rocking and rolling. I know I'm throwing a lot at you. All right.
Just to add to, just for an easy peasy project, you could add fairly inexpensive little gardening kit that you can purchase that has the little starter pot, and buy some potting soil and a couple seeds. We took it to one of our housing units last night and did the pots. They decorated them as we were reading to them, bought some pizza, had some water, and the kids had a good time. Several of them were very interested in what happens with all of this. So, you know, it's a very easy project and gets it out there to the community kids. They're
This
spending
is-
time with the kids.
This week is Read Across Pennsylvania, which is, I'm sure, what Penny is talking about that they went to go read. So that's what we have been doing. We're going to be going to our 5th daycare tomorrow morning, and each of the kids, after we read the book about the garden, gets to plant the seeds in their little cup, and then they're keeping it at the preschool that they can watch it grow and see how fast it grows and measure and do everything like that. So it will be a lot of fun.
And hopefully it grows for Mother's Day, Father's Day, Grandparents' Day, whatever.
Right, exactly. All right, we're going to keep on going. So another program that people have done across the state is called adopted daycare. So adopted daycare means that you're going to find a daycare or a child care center that needs and would like to help becoming stronger in providing for the young children and their needs. You can find out whether a daycare or a child care center in your area wants to get stronger or needs help by looking at this PA Keys website, and it will tell you their rating. But you can also just adopt a daycare that you can go into and help provide materials or funds or books or educational games, or just do a lot of fun things with them. We actually adopted a daycare and we helped them maintain their playground facility by helping them spread mulch every year to make sure that the children are safe. We have members that go in and actually share a hobby. We have one of our members likes magic, and the kids absolutely love him. They call him Grandpa Tom, and Grandpa Tom is requested to go in every month and show them a new magic trick. And it's just a lot of fun to have that relationship with the kids and that relationship with the daycare. Penny, I know you also adopted daycare in yours.
Yeah, we've supported them with their raised gardens that they're doing now. We've put obstacle course in for the kids out in the playground area, supplied them with books, read, whatever she might need. She puts in a request and we see if we can do it. She's now up to 4 stars.
Excellent, wonderful. And just because they get to a 4-star doesn't mean that we should stop helping them.
No.
But our goal was to help some of our weaker daycares become stronger by helping to provide some of those connections. All right. So if you don't already know me and a little bit of background about me, I am a literacy specialist. Reading is my thing. So reading is important from pre-birth all the way on up through the end of our years. Literacy is extremely important. So you'll see here that there's a batch of items that are going to be important with literacy. It's such an integral part of child's development at any age, but especially at the Young Children Priority 1 stage. So obviously Kiwanis clubs in the area are reading at local daycares. They're leaving the books they read behind for the center. They're developing a relationship with the daycare center. So I know this week we've been reading books about gardening, but we're leaving those books behind for the center so that they can continue reading as well. So
Emily,
yep.
I'm sorry, there's a question in the chat. We will be getting these slides
Yes, I am going to actually send the PowerPoint to each person that registered tonight, but this recording of the PowerPoint and the PowerPoint itself will also be up on the website for people to get as well. But yes, I will be sending it to you, those who registered. So I just want to mention a few specific opportunities for literacy that you can work on in your area, which are very, very easy. So this first one is called Jumpstart Read for the Record. So this is held every October on a specific date. And basically what happens during that day is that this company, Jumpstart, is hoping that they can get as many adults and children reading the same book on the same day. And it's actually been in the Guinness Book of World Records for many, many years. And Kiwanis is actually has been mentioned for the last 2 years in the Guinness Book because we have participated, which is pretty cool. And what happens is you can order the book through Jumpstart, you can order it through Amazon, anywhere. But if you register for this Read for the Record Day, depending on how many people register to read in your area, the company actually donates a number of copies to economically disadvantaged programs within your area. So it's a really cool program. The other cool program that's available is called One Book Every Young Child. And this happens every April, and all across the state, they're always looking for and asking for volunteers to read at local schools, daycare centers, child cares, to read this particular book every April. So another easy way that Kiwanis clubs can sign up and read it already, the local places that are already there. This is another program that's out there, the Keystone State Literacy Association. They have a book compilation every year that they put out of preschool books. And these preschool books can be read by the preschool teacher to their children. And at the end, the children get to vote for their favorite book. And then a winner for the state of Pennsylvania is chosen. These programs are also available in the primary level, intermediate, middle school, and high school. And I know a lot of Kiwanis clubs across the state are actually partnering with their KSLA local association. I know the Lidditz Club just partnered, Dillsburg partnering, York is partnering. So there are a lot of clubs who are now starting to partner and help this program continue across the state. Supporting your local libraries. So we don't want to forget about our public library. Our public library is very important to our community, and it's a great partnership that we can forge. Local libraries have specific programs for these younger children. One of the programs that they have is 1,000 books before kindergarten and PA Cruise to Kindergarten. These programs are specifically targeted for pre-K students, and it's promoting reading to newborns, infants, toddlers, and preschool children. And it's just a great way for us to help our children being read to more. My Kiwanis Club just decided this month that we are going to be leading a preschool reading time once a month at our local library. We were asked because they are having a hard time getting lots of volunteers. So we are going to be reading to preschool students once a month in the evening, and then have a little arts and craft activity along with them. And the library is absolutely ecstatic about it. Our first event's going to be in April, and we're reading a book all about decorating eggs, and we're going to be decorating eggs with the students. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to enjoy that. Local libraries are a great place to work. I know that everyone has been hearing about this lately, right, Mike Kubal? So the Little Free Libraries is a new initiative, not only for Governor Mike, but it's a new initiative for Pennsylvania Kiwanis and for Kiwanis International. This is our new partner. So the Little Free Library is basically a house for books on a post that you can put anywhere that you think children will be that will need to read books. So whether it be a playground near a ball field, so if my older sibling has a baseball game, I can sit and I can be reading some books while they're playing. It's a great way to give access to a smaller community that may not be directly impacted by a public library, or just a space that people can read when they're going to be around that place a lot. Mike, do you want anything or anybody to say anything about the Little Free Libraries?
Yeah, I would add on to that, that obviously the Little Free Library is my governor's project for this year. Donations have been slow towards the governor's project this year due to not having all 7 regions have an in-person meeting. So if your club has not made a donation towards the governor's project, it's not too late. You can still do that. And you can send your check to the district office. Make sure you note on there that it's for the governor's project, and the check would be made out to the Pennsylvania Kiwanis Foundation.
And what Young Children Priority 1 is going to be doing is we're going to be offering little mini grants for clubs. So clubs can apply for these mini grants and actually receive one of these Little Free Libraries. It will have the Kiwanis logo and the Kiwanis seal on it, and it'll be offered in a beautiful Kiwanis blue of a nice composite board that doesn't wear out or get really bad. So it's just a nice addition. I know, Penny, we have how many across the state now?
We did
Officially?
23
So
last, yes,
yeah.
we gave out 23.
And I know my club purchased 6, and I know 3 other clubs have just purchased them recently. So our Kiwanis brand and our Kiwanis blue is getting all across the state with these new Little Free Libraries, which is exciting.
And they're very easy to put up.
There's little blue buildings everywhere.
Yeah. We had one, and I had a new member that works with the Boy Scouts, and they helped build it. And it was, I mean, it took a little longer because it was, the kids, but it was easy to do. I mean, so.
And it's great. And you can find books for this cheaply, either at Scholastic, or you can have a book drive. You can have your local Key Club or your local Circle K do a book drive. The community is very generous. We actually put a sign up by ours next to it, kind of explaining more, take one, give one. And the community is really good at putting books into it as well. So it's just a great addition. This is something else that a Kiwanis club brought to my attention. And as a reading specialist, I kind of am jumping at this. And we just put in for a Kiwanis International grant for this. It's called a story walk. Story walks can be as simple or as complicated as you would want them to be. So if you look at the photograph, what it is it basically takes a picture book and you take the panels out of the picture book. Of course, you have to have permission, and that's explained in the link. But what it does is you would put this story walk around a walking trail in a park or around the fence in the playground as seen in the picture. And what families can do is they can walk around and experience a story and activities that you can do with the story outside together. It's a really cool new initiative, and I can't remember who brought this to my attention across Pennsylvania, but I just really thought this was a new cool idea that you could work on. So story walks are something new, so stay tuned for more information there. All right. Learning and laundromats. And I don't know why this slide is weird up at the top, but I will fix that before I send that out. What happens here is that there are groups across the state of Pennsylvania that are now putting bookshelves with books and activities and learning games into laundromats. Why do you think we would put them in laundromats? Why would we need something in a laundromat? Well, we spend a lot of time in laundromats when you are a young family doing their laundry, and we don't want the kids to get bored. This is a place that you would have some things for the students and children to do so that they can experience literacy and experience puzzles and fun and things like that. So it's just a neat thing where you have a lot of traffic that people will be in that you can participate with. Another place, which is about the same, they're called Ready Reading Corners. If you have a local United Way in your area, the United Way is partnering with Kiwanis clubs to create these Ready Reading Corners. And what it is these are in different places like food banks, different places in doctor's offices, different places where children would be coming with their families, but the families are filling out paperwork or being busy with things. And again, it's providing books, educational toys and games, just a place in a waiting room that they have a place that they can go to and do something and keep busy. I think the last one, the last one in literacy that I'm going to talk about is called the Reach Out and Read Center. These are really cool. Reach Out and Read is a nonprofit organization. And what this does is they work with doctor's offices or pediatric care centers. And in these offices, the doctors actually give prescriptions for daily reading at their checkups. So babies and children have to go for so many well visits and so many checkups along the line. And of course, the doctors are telling them, you need to eat healthy, you need to do this, you need to do this. But through this program, the doctors actually have a prescription pad that tells them they should be reading 15 minutes every night. And after every checkup, they actually go home with that prescription and a book. So the doctor's offices are giving each of the families a book. So this is something that Kiwanis clubs can help by helping to provide some of the books for these doctor's offices that they can help out giving these prescriptions out to their families. So it's beginning to make a huge dent into literacy lives.
Emily, if I might add, we do kind of a double banger on this because we help Children's Miracle Network by doing our own little telethon, a big one. So everybody that makes a donation for a monetary value, then we put books back, which we donate to the doctor's offices so that they can do this Reach Out and Read program. So you can do your service in kind of two different things, helping several different organizations as well as the kids.
Awesome. Awesome. And I know we have a few more minutes. We just have our last category, and our last category is safety and pediatric trauma. Again, I'm no expert in this area, but there are some things that Kiwanis clubs can do. And I know, again, Penny, your club does a few of these things. So bike rodeo is a big thing that you can really work with for safety. We actually partner with our local Carroll Township Police Department, and they help us to host a bike rodeo every year. I know, Penny, you guys are doing the bike rodeo this coming year.
Yes. And coming up this year, we contact the Pennsylvania Police Department and they send somebody so that we know what we're doing for the right rules and regulations, and we do it with our community. So it's very helpful to the kids. It's also teaching them how to what to know right and left.
They actually do a bicycle helmet safety check to make sure that the bicycle helmets are fitting. We actually have a company that comes and brings extra bicycle helmets. That way, if they aren't fitting or if they're broken, we can make sure that they're replaced. We have local bicycle clubs and bicycle centers that come and actually do repairs on the bicycles. They make sure they're pumped up. They make sure the brakes are working. Just a lot of good things. And then the kids go through centers to help them learn how to stop, to learn how to swerve, to learn all of the good important things that they have to do on a bicycle for safety.
They actually set up the circuit for the kids to ride through, and through the community. We always give away some bikes there, but community has donated different bikes that kids don't have bikes to bring to that can ride those bikes. Some of them, it's the first time they're on one. And I just have to say thanks to the Pennsylvania Kiwanis Foundation for our grant for this year so that we can give out the free helmets and knee pads and arm pads.
Awesome. Other clubs do health and safety fairs. So again, this focuses on health and safety, but it may include different organizations from the area that would come in that have information. So for example, if you're a boating community, maybe you have someone come in that focuses on boat safety, meaning to wear your life vest, meaning all of those rules that you have to follow along with that. Maybe at the health fair, you would also have dental people come in to talk about dental health. There are lots of different areas of health and safety that we cover. Another big one is car seat checks. It's really important to have the car seats checked to make sure that they are in good shape, to make sure that your car seats are registered. That's another important thing to do. I did include these two websites for you. Safekids.org is a great foundation. There's one that's Safe Kids Worldwide, but there's also one called Safe Kids Pennsylvania. If you click on either of those links, what that will do is will connect you with your local Safe Kids organization. Again, they are across the state of Pennsylvania. They are jam-packed full of information, whether it be from bicycle safety, boating safety, Ripley's, believe it or not, toilet safety. There's a lot of drowning with toilets. Another big thing is television safety, whereas the television sometimes can fall on someone. So it really talks about a lot of that. You can get brochures, pamphlets through them. You can also request to have them come and speak to you. They're a great organization to focus on safety and pediatric trauma. So why Young Children Priority 1? We're going to close for tonight. And I want one or two people to share. So why is Young Children Priority 1 so important? Anybody willing to share why is Young Children Priority 1 and so important? Why should we get our clubs involved?
Because the children are our future.
I know now you're going to get me singing, Mike.
We don't have time for you to sing.
I know. Anybody else? Why Young Children Priority 1? Why did you want to be here tonight? It's a quiet
Helps your
group.
community. It's basically, it's getting involved and helping your community. In some cases, I feel like it's bridging gaps for people who don't necessarily have access or know about these types of services. It's not a charge to them, which is a big help to families who are struggling, that kind of thing.
Well, I just want to thank you for being here tonight. I know from 7 o'clock to an 8 o'clock on a weeknight when it's already been a long week is tough, but thank you for being Kiwanis members and thank you for being a part of Pennsylvania Kiwanis and just reaching out to your communities and doing more. Again, I am Emily Reed. I will be sending this PowerPoint out to everyone that registered tonight. This video will also be available online at Pennsylvania Kiwanis along with the PowerPoint itself. My email is flyingice@gmail.com. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and we will go ahead and answer any questions that you would have.
Could you give that email again, please?
Yes, it is flying ice sticks, and I'll also type it in the chat, and Penny will type hers as well. Flying ice sticks at gmail.com.
You like hockey?
Yes, I do. I played in college, so. And Penny put hers in there, and we are basically the co-host of Young Children Priority One and can help you out with anything that you might need on Young Children Priority One. So thank you again for joining us tonight. I hope you learned at least one or two things that you think that you might want to take back to your club, or one or two things that kind of interest